Haters know I got a lot of. Haters mad cause they get nada. Got a lot of dollars, look like I just hit the lotto. Rich, pop my collar, looking like a baller. Take shots like revolver, but the stroke so Arnold Palmer.
Y'all hear something?
Yeah. You probably in my background, you my speaker, but you can't really what's going on the live about man. They all right.
Okay.
That's how I was hoping. All right, ready?
I guess.
Okay, we gonna get the show started. Okay. All right, welcome everybody to another live episode. I hope you guys enjoyed the Terraria in last week. Trying to keep a little diverse and showing a bit of everything you might experience on this journey of healing. Before we get started, we have to get night, and I'm going to insert talk about ourselves a little bit, but there is something I do want to talk about before we get started, and that is this idea of support. So on this healing journey, one of the things that you will experience a lot of loss, and one point I want to cover getting freedom lost. A lot of times I see freedom lost. But on this healing journey, you will experience a lot of loss. You may go grieving. But one of the things that I can tell you, that loss creates space to experiences. And one of the things that I want to discuss is an experience that I have or I am experiencing for the first time in my life. So on my journey, I create space, and now of course you guys see I'm trying a lot of different things to be able to share what I know, be able to help other people on their journey. And in my life, I experienced support in a lot of different ways. You know what I mean? But I know I always want to be. I used to always see like play sports. I see that somebody came to one of their games, or somebody that goes to the NBA or NFL, or somebody makes sports fashion. And they talk about how they had orders, somebody that came to every single thing. Now I had support of people, a lot of people I know, but I've never in my life experienced the support of someone coming to every single thing until I started these lives. So I started doing these lives, and I have a friend who fully believes in what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to share. Not just one friend, several people fully believe and support me in various ways. Very much thank that. But it's one friend that's giving me a very experience that I firmly believe had I not started this journey. Or had I not tried these things, I may not have experienced it like this. I probably would. I'm probably more likely to be giving experience than receiving the experience. So this friend comes, they're on every single one of my lives. No matter what. And I really appreciate that. And one of the reasons I want to talk about that is it's a new experience for me, and it creates a set of emotions that I have to process. And figure out how they make me feel, and how I want to carry those emotions going forward when I experience something like that again. And I share this with you all because one, I do definitely want my healing experience to be open as well. So I'm sharing with other people. And two, I'm saying to you so that you can clear yourself for some of these experiences, new emotions and new feelings that you may not have ever experienced before. And I want you to make sure you take time to dive deeply into those emotions, process them, because those will be the new emotions that you may be experiencing continuously on the next phase of life, next phase of your journey. All right. So that wraps up pretty much what I was talking about. Now I'm going to get started with Okay. So maybe I'm not echo like that now. Somebody let me know. Type in the chat, back on that message. Sounds like echo. Oh my God. What
Oh, goodness. I don't hear it. I look dark, I think, because I can see it on my phone, but I look dark. I don't know, chat. Child, this is new to me. I don't know.
No, it's, I know it's me. I don't know, I think my little speaker, because it winds up, be able to hear you, and I think, it winds up creating a real bad echo. Here's the echo. Yeah, it's
Not
just
me.
me, on echo, thanks.
I don't know what they talking about. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, you can't chat.
No.
Word, okay, so I don't see what you see. I can see chat, I can respond to it.
Now I can see it. Well, shucks, I don't even see it. Oh, I can see it on my phone.
Nope, they say not echoing, so good. Oh man. It's like chat. Hold on, see if I can hold on. Thank you, people. Close, let me see what's going on here. Tell you something, I actually hate for this also too. Folks make my life easy, but
Oh, goodness.
it's cracks. Let's see what's going on.
I'm trying to get comfortable in my chair. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, say you're not echoing though, but it's just me. There you go.
Now it shouldn't hurt your feelings. Probably because of the I don't. Now it shouldn't hurt your feelings. Probably because of the I don't. Now it shouldn't hurt your feelings. 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 Now it shouldn't hurt your feelings. Now it shouldn't hurt your feelings. Okay.
No, yeah. Hold on, let me try something. I'm not gonna talk for a second. Let me see.
Well, you didn't echo last week, did you? You didn't change nothing.
No, it didn't. But it's like you don't have the echo. You know what I mean? So as it sounds real wrong to us, but the live is echoing crazy. No, see if that makes a difference. And they ain't hearing nothing. They ain't hearing nothing I said about. You know what I mean? They ain't hearing nothing I said about. You know,
It was a very good story too.
They ain't hearing nothing I said about.
It was a very good story too.
They ain't hearing nothing I said about.
It was a very good story too.
They ain't hearing nothing I said about.
It was a very good story too.
They ain't hearing nothing I said about.
I'm already
It was a
nervous.
very good story too. They ain't hearing nothing I said about.
I'm already
It was a
nervous.
very good story too.
Okay, I'm already 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 nervous.
Let me get X out of that. Let me see. Alright. Give me a second. I'm gonna inbox
Okay.
my friend and see if it's still echoing bad for them. Maybe it's because I'm logged on to Facebook. I'm doing too much. Hey. I'll wrap up with my whole sob story that I just told.
Well, thanks for the experience.
Right. You say I sound like it is repeat. It was repeat. That's crazy. Oh man. Well, at least I got some. At least we got some people watching. They trying to help us. No, I'm promise you, y'all. I actually pay for this mess, and okay, it's better. Okay, yeah. Lo siguiente. We about to make this work. Yeah. All right. So now I'm about to rap. Yo, I was thinking just the other day. No. You like, okay, what am I on? I would not embarrass my family like that, but girl, you
Oh
done
my
known me for a
God.
while. I've been crazy for a minute, so that's
Right.
not that crazy. All right. So I did say a whole bunch of stuff earlier.
It was very
I'll just say
heartfelt
it
too.
again at the end because I'm gonna need it at some point, and when I edit it, I'll put it at the beginning. So whenever this comes on YouTube, I appreciate your patience. I appreciate your help. Glad I don't sound like they said I sounded like a DJ, a live DJ, and all I needed was some house music. But
Right.
I think the person that said that is a part-time hater. So yeah, I put this on live. You're a part-time hater. Okay, so all right. So today we have Ebony with us, and Ebony, I'll talk a little bit about her. She's a person I've known for a long time, probably since, well, honestly, since we were kids, since middle school, and we both grown into adults and done a lot of different things, and I appreciate her supporting something I have going on right now. And I want her to tell us a little bit about herself and what she does and how you can get in contact with her if you want to know a little more information. The only thing that I say is don't be too specific about where you are, but you can say what state you're in. Okay, like, I don't want you to, I'm trying to get your business, not stalkers, okay?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's hilarious.
You know what I mean?
Um,
I let when you talk to them individually, you tell them what they need to know.
okay. Well, hello everybody. My name is Ebony Baton. I'm a Charlotte native, born and raised here. I don't really have much to say about myself. I am 44 right now. And I say that because at the age of 28, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. So
That's
for
what's
those
up.
who went to high school with me, shortly after graduation, I had my son or whatever, and I had symptoms back then when I was pregnant with him,
Okay.
but I didn't realize the symptoms were happening at that time. So fast forward till the age of 28, I woke up one morning and I literally fell out the bed, and that's how I found out I had MS. Because my son picked me up and he was like, "Mommy, are you okay?" And I was like, not really. I'll be fine later on this afternoon." And the feeling came back. I was working two jobs at the time. I was in school to be a nurse, and the same thing happened the next day for a total of 3 days. Um, and because of that, I was pretty much bedridden for like 5 months, just laying in the
Seriously.
bed,
That's amazing.
reevaluating my life, honestly, because I was a young mother with little kids, living with my parents. I was going through a bad breakup with one of the kids' fathers, and that started my journey on Social Security. And I say that because, again, I was young, did not plan on being on Social Security at the age of 28.
Of course, right.
I have a part time job now, but it was a hard journey. It was a mental journey. Um, I don't know if anybody else has gone through something quite like that at a young age to where you physically cannot take care of your children, and that really messes with you.
Yeah, I'm
It
sure it
made me
does.
feel like I was a bad parent. I failed as a parent. It made me feel like I failed as a daughter because my parents were having to take care of me. Um, Now, looking back on it, it was a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Right.
Um, because again, I've always worked two jobs. I was never there for my kids. So the reason why I said it was a blessing was because at the time I felt like it was a early retirement, I guess you could say. So I was there to go to my children's daycares and schools and volunteer and everything. But in the back of my mind, I felt like I my life was over. pretty much. People text me and say, well, hey, can you come and do this? Or do you want to go here? No, I can't really go there because I'm tired, or I can't really be out in the sun because the sun will mess with my nerves or whatever, and that could bring on paralysis. So fast forward till now, for the past 15 years, that's been my life. Talking about my MS, because I do have a lot of exacerbations. I have a lot of health issues because of it. Um, I've had vision issues. I've had several excruciating migraines because of it, to where I've been approved for Botox for my headaches now. I mean, I have gone
Mhm.
through literally any and everything you can think of in the past 10, 15 years. So now I am a travel network marketer,
All right.
and that has literally saved my life. You know, um, I say that because it provides me income to where I don't have to work every day, to where I don't have to physically get up and go to a job every day. And having MS, I can't do but so much.
Gotcha.
I can lift here and there, but I can't overexert myself. I cannot get overly stressed out. I can't get overheated. So my best option was to find something I could do from home to where I could enjoy it and meet people online. And that's what I've been doing for the past 5 years. Um, what else? Can you ask me some questions, Ask?
No,
I'm
that
not
was
good
that.
at
Listen,
that.
I was not prepared for that. You came.
Right. Like I'm
Yeah,
listening
you
to
are.
so much
Listen,
stuff.
like okay, so what people don't always understand. This stuff isn't scripted. I don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
The people that come on here don't know what to expect. All I do is I hope that they're going to share, and you shared more than I even thought you were going to. I had no idea. Like I said, I've known you since middle school, and
Right,
I had no
man.
idea. And the
When
thing
I
that I
tell
did
you,
want to say
I
is
had a hospital stay for
I'm
30
sure
days.
now you're not necessarily alone, but someone watching this or someone else, they're definitely going to feel a little more empowered because that's one thing I can say that happens with every one of these videos. Somebody watches the person on this video, connects to that person, and then they're like, yo, I want to do this too. I want to experience this too. I want to go through this too. So somebody's going to reach out to you or me to hear more about that. And then the other thing that I want to say, because we didn't come on here tonight for that, but I would love to be able to interview you a little more about that. Because if you've been living for it for 15 years, I'm sure somebody right now that just got that diagnosis yesterday, and you can help them avoid some of the trials and tribulations for a lack of better words that you did. Some of the bumps in the road where you went left and you like, nah, you see, you don't go left this time. Now you can go right. You know what I mean? So that I do. That's information I want to put out there, and I wasn't ready for that. And then the other thing I want to say, this is a great. I'm glad that you offered to do this because I'm not sure if you know, but the energy reading is just a part of what I do. You know what I mean? But the other thing, for the most part, is Reiki, and like I said, it's laying hands. And one thing is for pain. You know what I mean? So it definitely works with pain. My homeboy, as a matter of fact, my homeboy. His name is Ali. I ain't gonna put you on the spot now. We call him Ali now, but I know you've known him since middle school because we all went to the same middle school together. So I know you know. And he just the other week he just did Reiki on someone, took him through the ceremony and whatever, who was having migraines, and they haven't had migraines. Last week I did a friend of mine had surgery. I did Reiki on their side to help them with pain. So in conjunction with traditional medicine, Reiki winds up being a fantastic thing, and it may be something that me and you can talk a little bit more off that because we'll come to you. You family to us, so you know what I mean. We got you. You got if you. That's all you had to tell me. You was in pain. We gonna lay hands on you. I got you. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. If okay, so if you can go back to the comments after we see this, I'm going to ask someone like you know what I mean.
Yeah,
The
I
person
don't
I did Reiki on their side, they like talk about the experience of getting Reiki done on them for pain and how they feel afterwards. They say it's better now. I mean, I want them to put something in the comments where you can read about it, and we'll talk a little bit more about it because you are a perfect candidate for something like that. You know what I mean? And I know you
Yeah.
probably want to make sure you have a balance of holistic. Like you don't want to just be all medicine or all. You know what I mean? You want a good balance of something, a good balance of natural and you know what I mean,
Yeah.
whatever it is, medicine, medical or whatever. I think it'd be great for you. But this would be a good start because what we're going to do is, are you familiar with chakras or any of that?
Not really. I've heard of it, but I'm okay. You
Okay.
can, check my
So
chakras if you
I
need
like to keep
to.
it I like to keep it simple. You know, when
Okay.
they start calling them chakras and all that, it starts sounding mystic and you know what I mean? Some people aren't into mysticism. You know what I mean? I'm a scientist. As funny as it is, me dealing with this mysticism, I'm not really into that unless I can trace it to something scientific. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just me. You know what I mean? So I can trace it to something scientific. But we all understand energy. So all I'm
Yep.
going to do is read your energy. And
Okay.
in the human body, for the most part, I know of, there are more. But for the sake of this, we'll find 7 energy points, 7 specific energy points. So it's going to
Okay.
be your seventh one, which is your crown, and for the most part, that's going to let me know or let you know if you overthinking, not thinking enough. You know what I mean? And then it's going to be your sixth, which is your intuition. You know what I mean? And people always call it third eye, but you know, third eye again start branching on that mysticism, which turns some people
Now
off.
I got
But
this
every
big purple right
you hear
here.
me? Yes, exactly, exactly. I see the dumb movies with that eye open and start blinking. I'm like, whoa, I don't want that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good. I don't
And
even
I
want to
didn't
know what
realize
that
it until I
does.
got on here. I was like, is that a zip? Like, where is that
No,
coming from?
no. It's the third eye. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's opening. That's it. It's opening up. And then you have your throat. You know what I mean? That'll let me know if you're not talking enough. What you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then you have your heart. Of course, that's self-explanatory. You let me know if your heart open or closed. Then you have your solar plexus, which is pretty much your stomach reason. It just let me know. You know what? It's it seems to be focused more on stuff like if you're being judgmental and your esteem and stuff like that. And then you have your sacral, and I mean, just keeping it real, it is pretty much a growing area. And then you have your root, which is your feet, and that let me know if you grounded. You know what I mean? Now all these things are connected, and what we're going to do, I'm gonna let you pick whatever pendulum you like. So I'm just gonna hold. We're gonna pick a chakra, and I'm gonna hold the pendulum, and we're gonna look to see if it spins. So if it don't spin, that energy, is closed. If it spins a
Okay.
little bit, that means it's underreacting, and then sometimes it's spin like this. Because the first time I did it, I thought it was fake. I said this. I thought it was, I'm gonna say this a million times, but I thought it was fake. So when she held that thing over my head, it just started spinning all wild. And I was like, this can't be real.
Wow.
So, and to show you, I mean, it's like a hair bead at the tip of it. So I can't like squeeze it and make it move. It does ask me to squeeze it, so you might see my fingers move for me to squeeze it, but that's just for the most part to focus the energy. But it's your
Okay.
energy. We connected. I'm excited. So, all right. You got any questions before we get started? Was that a lot? Just exhale. I'm gonna take it easy. I had to do a quick explanation. You know what I
I'm
mean?
just,
But we're gonna
I'm
take
just
our
curious.
time on each one
Yeah.
of these chakras for you. All right?
Oh
You got any
wow.
questions
Okay.
yet?
No, I just want to see what it says because in my
All right.
mind,
We're gonna see
I'm
what the
thinking,
stones say.
because in my mind, I like to say that I'm a happy person. I try not to be negative.
Right.
Um, and even when I was first diagnosed, I was literally suicidal back then,
Right.
right? Because again, I felt like a failure.
Right.
And it took me a while to get out of that. And the only reason why I did not do it was because of my son. He was old
I
enough
know
to
that's right.
realize and remember me. And that's what
I
made me
know that's right.
stop.
Right.
And because of that, I have all these tattoos that are biblically based. So whenever I
Okay.
feel down, I look at my tattoos. I have about 13, I want to say.
Okay. You
Yeah, and
know,
they're all pretty
13
much
is
from the Bible.
you know that's a good number, right?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Jesus
And
and his
I
12
mean,
disciples made 13. That's the number. The 13th letter of the alphabet is M, and M stands for master. So you might have
mhm,
13 tattoos on your body because you've mastered some of those emotions, and that's a beautiful thing. Like that,
thank
that's not.
you.
I don't believe in coincidence. A lot of stuff don't. It's not just happenstance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So 13. That's just nobody deals with 13. You know what I mean? So
Not at all,
that's
because
something
they
to
think
think
about
about.
Friday the 13th. So people are always
Right?
thinking negative about 13. I'm like, no,
Yes,
it's
they
really a good
do.
number when you think about it. You
Yes,
know?
they do. Yes, they
Yeah.
do. Yes,
So
they
I'm
do.
excited. Okay, I'm ready.
All right. So now, what I'll let you do is I got three pendulums, and I'll let you pick the one you want. I got the purple one,
Well, you know, purple my favorite color. So, and
mine too. But there we go.
it's the
But let me.
color
I'm
of
gonna go through them
royalty.
all. So maybe you want the blue.
Nope, don't want the blue.
All right. And then it's black.
I like black too, but I'm gonna stick with my original purple because you know
With
purple
your
is the color
purple.
of royalty. Yep.
So I'm telling you what, I came in here to set up, and it's funny. I knew you was gonna pick that because when I tell people all the time, when they say I can read their energy, I like being able to do it like know it at least 30 minutes before I read their energy, so I can try to connect with them. And I came in here trying to figure out, you know what I mean, how I was gonna do this part. And I immediately grabbed the purple one and started testing myself. And I was like, I feel like she gonna pick this purple one. So, and you did. You ain't let me down. So here we go. All right. So I'll give you another option.
Okay.
Do you want to start with 7 or 1?
Let's start with 7.
All right. That's good because I love to start with 7. So it's gonna be perfect. So 7 again is your crown. And that's good too, because what's that? Purple. It looks like yes. The crown chakra is purple. So you started with purple. You picked purple. You started with purple. Makes sense. See, no coincidence. All right. So again, all I'm gonna do is just hold this up, and we're
Okay.
gonna look for a spin. All right.
Okay. Now, what if it don't spin?
All right. So you got a little bit of spin. You see it right.
Yeah,
So you got a little bit of spin.
a little bit. Yeah.
And that at least we know that you're using your brain. You know what I mean?
Well, I
But
would
you
hope
have some
so.
things going on that's keeping it from spinning at full power. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So after I do that, I let it spin. We talk about it, and then I look. I got a little piece of paper that is like my cheat sheet for the most part. So you'll see me look at my cheat sheet,
Uh huh.
and I look at the words on my cheat sheet, and whatever my intuition tells me is affecting you, I say that, and we discuss. I'll pick the one that, I mean, we discuss them all, but I ask more
Okay.
questions about the one I want to know the most. The one that, whichever one I feel the most is
Uh
the
huh.
one that I wind up focusing on.
Okay.
So, um, you got some stuff going on with cravings. And it's funny on this paper it says craving attention. But
It
I
says
don't
what
think
now?
low key I do think it's attention, but I think it's a specific type of attention. And outside
It
of
says
that,
I'm
I don't think
craving
it's
attention.
limited to, huh?
Can you repeat it? It says I'm craving attention.
Yeah, so on the paper it says craving attention. I
Oh
say
shoot.
you're dealing with some cravings. That's what I say. And I do think attention is one of them. but I think it's a specific type of attention. Like, you know what I mean? So like it can be recognition. You know what I mean? Because recognition is a specific type of attention. And a
It
lot of
is.
times when we talk about attention, we just talk about it in general terms, and that can have negative connotations. But attention can be very specific. You know what I mean? So I
Okay.
think it's a very specific attention, and it actually recognition came to me as an example. So it actually might be recognition. Um, but that's not the only thing you craving. So I don't know what else the cravings you got going on. It does feel like a little bit of freedom. You know what I mean? I feel like you're dealing with some feelings of confinement a little bit. So you have some craving of freedom. I feel like you having some things going on, feeling misunderstood.
Of course.
Of course. Of course. How would I not guess that one right?
Because I mean, it all goes back to what I do
Yeah.
as a network marketer. People don't understand why I'm doing it, and even with my family, they just consider me a travel agent. No, no, no. I'm more than the travel agent. I can book travel, but I prefer not to. I prefer to let my teammates do it for me. I'm not booking nobody's travel other than my own. So
Right.
because I don't have a problem getting told no or getting told, I think it's a scheme or a scam. I'm a team builder,
Okay.
period, with Planet Marketing. I don't really deal with the whole travel situation, but I have at least 25 people on my team that will book the travel for me, and I
Right.
get paid off of that. So again,
Okay.
I'm more into the residual income aspects of it as opposed to the travel side of it. And a lot of people, they don't understand why I'm doing it. I do have a lot of Zooms, I do have a lot of meetings. Um, Maybe that's a part of the recognition, because I do get recognized from the company because I do things that majority of us don't do. I go above and beyond. But that's because I see the bigger picture. I'm going to be retired next year as opposed to my classmates or whatever.
Right.
And I don't try to laugh about it, but when I found something good, I told people I went to school with. And
Yeah.
some believed me and some did not. I have some on my team that we went to junior high with. I'm not going to say their names because that's their personal information.
Right. Of
But
course.
for the ones that didn't believe me, it's kind of like, I don't keep anything to myself. So I will tell everybody I went to school with what I found and how I'm getting paid. But it's just up to
Right.
them to believe it or not.
So let me ask you a question,
Hmm.
because since we're talking about that one, it seems as though that might be one of the things that is affecting your crown chakra. And I can see that dynamic right there bringing a set of frustration where you start even thinking about it and you don't even worry about it. So you turn your thought process off. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? That's people's natural inclination. When they're tired of thinking about something, they don't want to worry about it. They don't. Or a lot of times we like to say when we move on from it, although we don't necessarily move on, we just cut it off.
Yeah.
So the thing that I want to ask you, is there a way that you can market what you do a little differently, where it'll kind of already explain what you specifically do, like your role, so people won't be questioning it that much. And I say that because in my experience, I've dealt with a lot of organizations going through grassroots efforts, right? And one of the biggest challenges that we have to go through is um, our messaging, right? And the thing that where a lot of organizations make missteps is really putting more information out there than you think. You know what I mean? A lot of times we stand back, we look at our market, we look at the people we want to serve, and we put out the information that we think they want to know, right? But the thing about dealing with marketing and people, sometimes they think of something or they want to know something that we had no idea. You know what I mean? So a lot of times you wind up putting over information. Over information. It really does feel like too much to an individual or an organization. But what winds up happening is you have enough information, and if there's enough information out there, people will ask you questions about your information instead of filling in the gaps of where the information isn't there. Because like I know people make it up. So when people don't understand what you do, they done made it up. You know what I mean? They done filled in the gap. They're like, well, you're a travel agent. So they done already put you in a box because they don't have enough information to even be like, hey, what this mean? Sometimes you even want to use a word that might be too big. Like, what this mean? You know what I mean? Because as I'm doing, like for example, I'm doing this, one of the biggest things that I have to make sure I market it against. That's why I always say it's based on science. It ain't I'm just a regular person. Is people love to try to say that this is some demon type stuff or you go in the head like I know we are in the Bible Belt, so I have to put the information out. That's why I put it on Front Street so people are like, well, maybe they ain't demon because it just looks like a normal person doing normal stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So is the question again, is there, and you may not have the answer right now, it may be one of the, I ask a lot of simple questions, but the answers can be complex. So you may not have the answer now, but it should, hopefully it'll start you thinking, but is there a way or a new way that you can market what you do to eliminate some of those questions?
Well, shucks, I do a pretty good job now, so I don't know what more I can say. Because I've tried pretty much every way possible. But I'll think of something else. Huh?
Ask. Ask the people that follow you. Just be like, hey, what more can I tell you to help you understand what I do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
not only that, when people do come into my inbox, I appreciate the compliments wholeheartedly. I'm not looking for anybody, okay?
You already know. You already know.
I mean, I can explain what I do to them and they get it. But on the flip side, they're like, oh, well, are you single?
They came in with the wrong.
And I'm like, I'm single for a reason. I'm trying to, grow bigger in my business. I have a goal to obtain by next year. I don't want any distractions. So yes, I'm single. Right. I am married to my business,
Right.
Oh, well, you can always use friends. I have enough friends. These are my friends.
I got friends.
And the part of my teammates, we travel a lot. So those are my friends,
Yeah.
because when I first joined this company, my girlfriends didn't want to travel with me.
No,
so I said, oh, okay, well, let me find somebody that does want to travel with me and
like
does want to go places with me. So in essence, some of them turned into my family as well, because that's how close we are.
Now I do want to say about the inboxing. Now that is a realistic thing, you know what I mean? And that's going to be it's going to be difficult to not market, like you not separate that from what you're marketing, because attractiveness sells. Some people are going to be drawn to your product just because they find you attractive, you know what I mean? And unfortunately, that's just going to be a boundary you have to draw. I'm glad that you could recognize that, and I'm glad that you actually said that so people understand. It winds up being obvious because people deal with that all the time. Even me as a man, me and my homeboy, like I said, we starting to lay hands on people, healing hearts and stuff like that. We do understand that some people going to want to pay us in not money. You feel me? So we got to make sure we keep clear boundaries, like, hey, this is not what this is about. I'm trying to help you, you know what I mean? So it's a realistic thing that you have to think about, and I can't even help you not. There's no way you're gonna be able to get rid of that because
even if I say it, when I'm on Facebook, I literally prospect on Facebook. I will look at your profile to see if you travel, to see if you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur. I do research on people. I'm that particular about who I prospect. And so I go into their inbox and I say, hey, good afternoon. Just to be clear, I am not here for anything personal. I do not want to.
Saying that, maybe people gonna win you over. I'm gonna win you over, don't
I'm
worry.
not here to be your friend. I said, but I have a business opportunity that I would like to share with you. Some say yes, some say no. Now, the ones that have said yes, sometimes they join, sometimes they don't.
Right.
I did have one instance where a well known DJ here in Charlotte was on my team. And he had a great network too, and that's why I prospected him.
I know that's right. I know that's
When
right.
I tell you he wanted to try to date me, I was like, bruh, this is not why I prospected you. Like, this is not what you wanted to be. I'm sorry if you were confused about it, but you wanted to travel more. Therefore, I invited you to this meeting. You found out about the travel industry and you joined. You can still travel. It don't have to be with me. Take
Yeah.
somebody else, And he was just like, I just want to go with you. Needless to say, he ended up canceling and dropping out because he couldn't get it. And they do waste my time. I've had one come to the meetings just to meet me in person, to where I have to be like, what is it about me that you need to
I
meet me in
hope,
person?
I hope you wow them. Yeah, I hope you like, yeah, she's everything I thought she was and more.
I was like, you wasted a whole Saturday afternoon just to come here, sir. Thank you, but no thank you. So I have to deal with that as well. But yeah, so my chakra probably is kind of closed right now.
Yeah, well, it ain't closed, but you slowing it down. You know what I mean? So I just think start thinking about what you can control. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And as bad as it sounds, just start accepting some things for what they are. You know what I mean? Like some things,
Yep.
it just comes. It's part of the game. You know what I mean? So and that comes with the territory. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
yeah, and for real, marketing 101 is sex sales. So being attractive does benefit, and some people are going to come to you for that, and they're definitely going to want to see how far they can go. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But like I said, I do want you to take a little time to think about how you can market yourself a little differently, and it may start with asking questions. It may start doing some polls. You know what I mean? One
Right.
thing that I've been learning through this process is interaction, allowing people some way to be able to interact or something weird like that. So I don't know. I say figure out some ways where you market to eliminate some of the questions. It may even mean working with someone, a marketing expert. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
reach out to your network because you have all the tools you need already in your network. So
Yeah.
just ask for the help, and you shall receive. You feel me?
Yes. Okay.
I think we did pretty good on that. So we're gonna go to the intuition you open. So when we hit the one you want to talk about, we own it. So you ready for your intuition?
Yep.
Alright. Let's see how we do it. All right, that one barely moving at all. Now that one, I might say you got cut off. What is going on with your intuition?
Oh wow.
Woo!
Apparently, I ain't got no intuition. I'm
Nah, you got it. You just not using it. You got some doubt going on somewhere. You got some confusion going on somewhere.
Hmm.
You got some worry going on somewhere.
I do.
Um, and you got some, and it's ironic because yeah, I'm surprised. You got something going on with your charisma.
With
You
my
know what I
who?
mean? Um, I see why you might have something going on with your charisma.
Why?
Because if you allow yourself to be charismatic, you increase the issue that you're trying to avoid. You know what I mean? The more charismatic you are, the more people come to you like, hey, I kind of want to do this business, but I really want to date you.
Right.
So, yeah.
And I am so not wanting to date right now. And like, okay, I don't understand when a woman approaches a man, because let's be truthful, most men in this company are the go-getters. They make the
Right.
most money, which is why I prospect them, which is why I want them on my team, because I'm trying to
Right.
make as much money as I can. And I always have to ask them, why are you thinking about butt when I'm trying to offer you money? Like, you're having issues paying your bills. I'm trying to help you do that. But you want to come
Right.
to me about going on a date. I can take myself on a date and it could be tax free because I own a home based business, which is what I do a lot of times. So I don't need you to court me. I can court myself, which is keeping me happy right now. So
You
why?
know,
And I go ahead.
go ahead. You got this energy,
It
and
really ticks me off. Like I
it,
really,
it does. It
and
does.
I've had to read the
And
book
one
Emotional
thing,
Intelligence. My mentor is always telling me, Eb, you got to calm down. You can't cuss everybody out, because it really. I used to be bad about it too. I would literally get upset and start cussing. I have to work on that. So.
so I'm gonna add a different perspective, and it's funny, you know what I mean?
Mm,
Because yeah, a lot of times growing up, we got a lot of conditioning and stuff that we work through. And I know one of the things that we like, especially if you went to college or if you tried to do anything with your life, a lot of times, one of the things that they try to tell us to do is you can't do them both. You got to sacrifice love for career or career for love or something like that. You know what I mean? And ironic, and you really do see this with poor people, right? They're struggling, they're trying to get it
yeah.
together, but one thing they understand that we need to, and I include we because I'm included in this, I'm learning this lesson now, is there is a balance to this. Just because you're building and working and doing this stuff, it doesn't mean you have to exclude another need. You know what I mean? Because we are
Mm,
humans, we like companionship. You may not necessarily need the full commitment, but there is some balance in having healthy interaction with the male, healthy. There's a certain level of intimacy, and it doesn't necessarily, and I don't even mean sexual or dating or anything like that, but there's a certain level of connection that you can have from the opposite sex that, especially if they understand, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
I don't want you to find yourself, because you focused and you got to remain focused. But
Yeah.
there are people who understand that focus, will be just as focused, and you can work together. And I say this because, like, when I was getting my master's degree, every time I get to a certain point in my life, I'm always presented with what I need. And a lot of times, one of the things that I'm presented with is companionship, because you do
Mm,
need it. Whether I was getting a master's degree, whether I was what's name, I was always blessed with someone who wound up understanding the struggle, and the struggle winds up being a little bit easier if you have
yeah.
someone else. Now, I say this too, because once you turn your intuition back on, okay,
Mm,
you are a smart enough woman, you've experienced enough where you'll be able to recognize that energy. You know what I mean? And you'll be able to recognize someone who's going to respect what you have going on, and they got their thing going on. They're going to support you, and it's going to feel like it's natural. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I get not wanting to date. I feel you. You know what I mean?
Well,
But don't
I
be so
date.
closed off where you can't enjoy or experience the balance that
Yeah.
comes. You know what I mean? Because you still have needs. You still a woman. You still got needs. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? That stuff happen. That hey, and yeah, you
Well, I
still a
didn't. I
woman.
didn't say
Ultimately,
I didn't say I don't date. I just don't want to date them.
oh, thanks for clearing that up. Okay, so then in that case, you really need to turn your intuition on so you can get the attracting the dudes you
Because
want to
again,
date.
I prospect people on Facebook. I look at your page, and I met somebody, and it started off as business first, and it kind of like progressed. But still, we're still going to have business.
Of
Um,
course, there's
yeah,
a
I mean, because
balance.
Yeah, because we kind of figured out we liked each other enough to work together, but he can still do his thing and I can still do my thing, and we
Okay.
don't really bother each other.
Well,
Well,
good.
good.
That's
That's
it.
it. Then
Enjoy
enjoy
that
that
balance.
balance.
Dive more
Dive
into
more
that.
into
You know what
that.
I
You know what I
mean?
mean?
So I
So
don't
I
know
don't
that
know,
I
and
don't
I don't
necessarily
necessarily
mean
mean
with that
with that
individual
individual
because I
because
don't
I
know
don't
Yeah.
if
know
that's
if
the
that's the
direction
direction
you're
you're
supposed
supposed
to
to
go.
go,
But
but
more
more
into that
into that
experience
experience
where
where
you
you
can
can
enjoy
enjoy
it.
it.
It
It
may
may
be
be
somebody
somebody
else
else
that
that
can
can
take
take
it
it
to
to
another
another
level
level
or
or
something
something
like
like
that.
that.
But
But you
definitely
definitely
need that
need that
balance. You
balance.
know
You
what
know
I
what I
mean?
mean?
So
So
these
these
motherfuckers
motherfuckers
won't
won't
bother you
bother
as
you as
much.
much.
You know what I
You know
Right.
what I
mean?
mean?
And then when he's not acting right, I have like my backup.
Oh
Oh
Lord,
Lord, don't get me
damn.
started.
Look,
You know,
let me tell you
let me tell you
something. You
something.
know what's
You know
worse
what's worse
than one
than one
headache?
headache?
Two.
Two.
You get
You
me?
get
You
me?
know
You
what I
know what
mean?
I mean?
And I'm
And I'm
glad you
glad you
said that
said that
because
But
this
because
is
this
I've
I
known him for 13 years, I want to say. So we have an understanding about the friendship, you know.
okay.
okay, cool.
Yeah, we
I
have
do
I
want
do
to
want
say
to
this
say this
though
though
about that
about that
idea
idea
of
of
date them
date them
all
all
because
because
it
it
came
came
up,
up,
and I
and I
know it's
know it's
a
a
dating
dating
suggestion
suggestion
now as
now as
opposed
opposed
to
to
dating one
dating
person
one
on
person
time.
on time.
I mean,
I
at a
mean, at a
time, and
time, and
I'm
I'm
going.
going. This is what I'm going to say.
Now,
Now,
it is
it is
not
not
better
better
than
than
dating one
dating one
person at a
person at
time.
a time.
It's
it's
It
just
not.
is just
different.
different.
It
It
creates a
creates a
new
new
set
set
of
of
problems.
problems.
Period.
Period.
It
It
ain't better.
ain't better.
This is a
It
new
is a
set of
new set
problems.
of
Because,
problems.
like I
Because, like
said,
I
Yeah.
you know
said, you
what's
know
worse
what's
than
worse
one
than one
headache?
headache?
Two.
It's
Two.
too.
What
What
happens when
happens when
all of
all
these
of these
people
people
are
are
emotional?
emotional?
Because one
Because one
thing you
thing you
learn,
learn,
and
and
I'm
I'm
not
not
saying
saying
this
this
is
is
you,
you,
but
but
this
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 now this
question is
question is
towards you.
towards you,
Because you're
because
going to
you're
be
going
able
to
to
be able to
co-sign.
co-sign.
When you
When you
start dating a
start
man,
dating a
you
man, you
find out he
find out
real
he real
sensitive.
sensitive.
What I
You
child?
get
So
me? So
imagine
imagine
That's
five
five dudes
dudes
trying
trying
to
to
date
date
you,
you,
and they
and
start
they
getting
start
real
getting real
sensitive.
sensitive. That
It ain't
it
better
ain't
or
better or
worse.
worse.
It just
It just
creates a
creates a
new set
new
of
set of
problems.
problems.
So
yeah.
So
don't go to
don't
that
go to
as no
that as no
solution.
solution.
But
But
yeah,
yeah,
cool. I'm
cool. I'm
glad.
glad.
I,
Enjoy your balance.
Get that
Get that
love
I'm
love
not
in
the
your
one for the
life. You
emotional.
deserve
I'm
it.
not the
you
one
know.
You
for
know
the
what I mean?
yeah. I'm not good when it comes to emotions, I guess you could say. I have them, but I don't dwell on them. I'm not one of those type of people that will let somebody hurt me and just let it be the end all be all.
Fair
Like
enough.
you
Fair
have
enough.
to get up and dust yourself off. Let's keep it moving. You know, what's the next plan?
Yeah.
Um, I'm very people say I think weird when it comes to death sometimes, to where I don't say get over it quickly because everybody has their own grieving processes.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm not going to let it make me depressed for the next year, or I'm not
Right.
going to let it, determine what I do going forward. When my sister passed away, I went to work the next day because
Right.
I didn't want to sit at home and cry. She had a brain aneurysm at 43, same age I am now, and so
Right.
I had to think about when she was born, she was very, very premature. So in my eyes, I was blessed to have her for the 43 years that I
For
had her.
43 years. Right.
That's how I look at death. When
Right.
somebody passes away, okay, well, I was blessed enough to have them for this amount of time or for, this long of a period. I don't think about it as, oh my gosh, they're gone. I'm never going to see them again. Earth is not our home. Heaven is our home. So
Right.
I'm going to see them again. So I'm not going to
Right.
dwell on it. I'm going to cry at their funeral. I'm going to be sad for a couple of minutes, or I mean, not minutes, but a couple of weeks or whatever. And life goes on,
Yeah.
And with some people that I'm very close to, they've had people pass away, and I try to be that empathetic friend. But at the same time, it's like, okay, this happened like 5 years ago. You're not over it yet. Do you want to keep talking
Yeah.
about it, or do you want to live life? Because if they knew you were here and you were constantly sad, they wouldn't want that for you. So I'm always looking at the bigger picture and the silver lining on that. When my kid's father passed away, he was 35,
Right.
had a heart attack at work, on New Year's Eve, And when I told my daughter, she just looked at me and she said, well, he was sick. And she wasn't lying. He was sick. He had diabetes. He didn't take care of himself.
Yeah.
When my best friend passed away, he had health issues because we had weight loss surgery or whatever. And I made it out and he didn't.
Right.
So to me, it was he died being the size that he wanted to be because he was severely overweight when he had his surgery. And looking back on it now, I had my time to say goodbye to him because he was in a coma for about 2 or 3 weeks. But before that, we had a going away party for him because we all knew he was about to die.
Right.
So let's have a big party for him. Let's, say our goodbyes. I always try to think of a silver lining with deaths that I've experienced. But some people don't look at it that way.
All right. So I got a couple of things to say. So the one thing I do want to say as far as like getting past it, especially when it comes to grieving, because it might be death,
you're
it
kind
might
of
be
fading
loss,
out.
it might be anything. The one thing you are 100% correct. Life does go on, and you do have to figure out some way to continue forward. You know what I mean? The one thing that I do want to say to people that when you're figuring out that way, make sure you process all of the emotions that come along with figuring out that way. You know what I mean? Because even when you process them, sometimes it just takes, it just takes the right memory and it reminds you of them or the right smell or any of that. You want to make sure you process the emotions so that you can healthily go on and not necessarily holding on to pain or hurt that you didn't release because you didn't process. For example, one thing that I say when I was growing up, we learned how to move on from shit. I spent my whole life moving on from stuff. I'm an expert at how to move on. But I just started learning as an adult how to process and move on. I learned your house burned, don't worry about it. We're going to move on. Life goes on. You right, God damn, my house burned down. I lost my dog, my grandma, you know what I mean? We don't want to process this shit. And in processing, people do have to figure out a way to sometimes you need help. And that might be therapy, that might be meditation, that might be church, that might be something like this. You do have to have and this is where because healing and processing isn't always a one person sport. Sometimes you have to go to people who understand it a little bit better and have them help you. And this goes into my other thing. This is going to help you.
Okay.
With your frustrations. And I do understand the frustration of a lingering emotion. That's pretty much what you say. You got that emotion lingering for 15, 20 years. But I don't think you give yourself enough credit because something that you do is so natural and normal to you. You don't give yourself enough credit for how unnatural and how amazing something you do is that most people can't do. And that's fine, that's silver lining. You know what I mean? People struggle to see the good in a lot of things. My mama told me, and it's funny, my own mama told me, like, boy, you see the world with rose-colored glasses. And that's her saying people struggle to see those silver linings. And one of your gifts may be teaching people how to do that. You know what I mean? And for you to actually be able to excel at teaching that, you're going to have to focus and be like, yo, I'm really teaching somebody how to see the silver lining, because people don't know. And I say this, I work with children and starting from children. The first thing that we destroy in children is the ability to dream. So now you got adults being able to see the silver lining is an offshoot of dreaming. You know what I mean? Because you have to be able to imagine. You have to be able to use your experience. You have to use a whole lot of stuff. So people have lost the ability to dream, which you still have. So sometimes when you find yourself in that situation, it's a person, a spirit, or an energy calling out for your help for a gift that you have. And that can give you a little more patience, because that's an amazing, and pat yourself on the back. You've gone through to be able to do that. That is a skill learned by hook and crook. That's trials and tribulations. That's not vicarious learning. You feel me? Like you had to go through some experiences. You had to that's a skill that has to be tested, tried and tested. And you know, some people ain't had a real test until they get to 30 or 40. Like sometimes people's first real test is death of a parent at 40 years old. And real story. We grew up in Charlotte. People shooting at the club and all that stuff was a normal thing for us, right? I was talking to a friend. They was at a party and somebody started shooting at the club. And I'm on the phone like, oh, that ain't nothing. And they're like, oh my God. They're freaking out, right?
Yeah.
And they're from neighborhoods similar to mine, so I thought they've already experienced stuff like that. So
Right, they should be used to it.
And they was like, look, I've never seen anything like that happen in my life. I was like, whoa. So I was very inconsiderate because I'm like, I get shot in the club every day, B. What is you talking about? That's every day. So because it's so naturally you don't recognize how it may be unnatural to somebody else.
Yeah.
So when you find yourself in those situations, just slow down and pause a little bit. And like I said again, pat yourself on the back because that's a good skill.
Thank you.
That was a good one. You're doing a great job. I told you you'd be fantastic. Great job. You are. I bet your throat chakra got to be rocking. You hear me? See, now I shouldn't have said that. Because every time somebody says it sounds like you need your heart chakra read, when you said you're not good at emotions, and I thought the same thing. So we're on the same page.
Let's go ahead
Girl,
and
don't
read.
worry. We about to see some real action when we get to your heart, your solar plexus, and your sacrum. I feel like your throat probably doing okay, but that's bad luck. Because every time I try to foreshadow or guess what something, it does the opposite.
Now I ain't used my throat in a minute, so I don't know. No, I'm just like,
Here we go. We're gonna find out. Here we go.
okay. Oh, that's a bigger circle.
Throat.
That's some bigger movement.
Yeah, it got a little spin. It going all this. It's a little all over the place, but you talking, which is good. You know what I mean? So what it makes me feel like is you may not be saying everything you need to say, but you getting stuff off your chest, which is a very good thing. I feel like you're able to speak your truth. You got some stuff going on with your creative. You stubborn. Yeah, you got some stuff going on with your stubborn. Somewhere, someone takes your speaking your truth as criticism. So you're dealing with people who see you as critical.
Yeah. And I try to say everything with a smile on my face to where it don't hurt people's feelings because I can't be comfortable, you know.
Not gonna work.
I mean, to me, it's like you say, I've been through so much. So it's like I don't sugarcoat stuff. And maybe I should, but no, sweetheart, if you can afford to do X, Y, and Z, then don't do it because it's going to make you broke, you know. And
Right.
I'm not trying to live the broke life. I'm trying to prevent you from being broke all the time. So if I do say something like that, it means that you need to reevaluate your finances. Because that's a part of what we teach. We teach about finances. We teach about learning what to do with your money. We've learned to, you know, once you make a certain amount, start investing and saving it, you know. So if I hear you saying I can't afford to pay this $59, well, then don't go get some crab legs, you know, stay out the restaurant or stay out the mall, you know, sacrifice something to get to the bigger picture, you know. So I am kind of blunt sometimes, you know.
Yep. So let me. I don't even know. Okay. All right. So I'm going to help you with that issue.
Okay.
And I got several stories.
And we're all adults. I should not be having these kind of conversations with grown adults.
Girl, let me tell you something. You know, people can be stuck. You know, you develop in different domains. So you can be 48 cognitively and 11 emotionally. You know what I mean? So you don't judge people on how they look physically.
Right.
So the one thing that I want to say, because I was like you, there's people now that think I'm all time serious, and there's some people like, I don't know how you think that this dude don't stop playing. But the one thing I'll wrap up with that. So my first lesson with what you're dealing with communication came when I started working with 4-year-olds. So I work with older kids, I work with adults, I work with them. So a certain level of dealing with adults where you have this firm, you have this boundary, this is what I expect, these are my expectations, I'm putting it like this, I'm clear, take it like that, you know what I mean? So I started working with these 4-year-olds, and I'm in there like that, you know what I mean? These kids need structure, they need routine, so me coming in there like that makes sense, right? And I started talking, I'll never forget this little boy's name. I'm going to say his name because there's so many of them and I love him to death too. But I'll
Wait a
never
minute,
forget
you're fading out.
Aaron, Jesus Christ. Aaron came up to me one day and I'm in there being firm, giving him the boundaries. And he just started looking at me. And I see him start blinking. And the blinks start getting faster and faster. And I look at him, I was like, are you about to cry? And he started crying. He was pouring. He was pouring. Because even though I was trying to establish expectations and he understood that it was just too hard for him to receive. I had to give him a hug, I had to what's the thing. And that taught me with this population of people, I can still have the expectations. I just got to ease back the hardest. And I had the expectations. They need I had to figure out a new way to communicate to them because that hurt them. I was destroying them when I'm trying to build them up. So fast forward, now I ain't working with kids no more. I'm leading adults. I'm in there with this room full of women. And you know women, I'm the only man a lot of times. Room full of women.
Yeah.
Somehow I'm telling these women what to do. I'm their leader, right? And I'm in there telling them, you doing this wrong. You know what I mean? But it's okay because I feel like I'm a good guy. I'm like, it's okay because you can do it this way and that's going to be right. Like I'm trying to put a positive spin on it and they ain't feeling it. Right? And this girl raised her hand and she's like, well, can you stop saying wrong? And I'm like, no, I'm not. It's wrong. So you can do it right though. So we not finna get. I'm in here like we not finna sit here and argue over one word choice. That's crazy. You know what I mean? We gonna move on, right? Mm-hmm. Now 2 months later, I had to go back and I tell that girl I'm sorry. I apologize to all my staff in the meeting. I say I'm sorry because now I've worked in this environment a little bit longer and I realized that the word wrong in this environment means incompetent. So every time I said that word wrong, I was calling these room full of women incompetent, and that's not what they are. They were very much competent women, skillful, very much skillful. Some of the best staff I've ever had, you know what I mean? But I was being disrespectful to them. So one of the things that I want to say that when you're dealing with that is it's just word choice. And sometimes people say it's sugarcoating it, but this is what I say. I like an honest person over a person that just tells the truth. You get what I'm saying? And the difference between a person that tells the truth and an honest person is an honest person actually thinks about the person that's getting the message. They think about the receiver and they adjust their message so the receiver can get the message. You know what I mean? Because for an honest person, it's understanding. I really want this person to understand what I'm saying. So if I need to adjust my word choice so they can understand, then I'll do that. A person that tells the truth, they don't give a fuck about, excuse my language, they don't give a damn about none of that. They just gonna say the truth. You take it like it is or you don't. But sometimes when you just tell the truth, nobody can receive that message because of how hard it is. It makes you seem like you don't even want to consider. And everybody wants to feel like they're being considered. You know what I mean? And thank God for supervising women because they kicked my butt in teaching me that. You know what I mean? So that's one of my. So when people say now I communicate very well, I thank women for that. They kicked my butt because I was just like yo, we gonna keep it. But so just think about that. It's just about adjusting it. Think about the receiver and what you really want them to receive. Because there's going to be times where you just won't be a truth teller. So I'm not saying don't be no truth teller, because sometimes it don't matter. I'm just going to tell the truth, and you take it like it is or you don't. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you want to be a honest person more times than a truth teller, because people will receive it better, and people will be wanting to do more for you if they feel like you considered them, even in how you presented the information. All right, but like I said, Coach Shark is doing pretty good. Just stop criticizing people and stop being so stubborn. You already know. You already know. You already know.
I can't
Let me tell you
help
something.
it. What am I stubborn about though?
Everything, girl. Everything. You know it. You know it. You everything. That's why we're not even going to discuss it. Everything. Just take them one at a time. You know it. Stop
Well,
it.
and
One at a
also, I guess because a lot of my coaches are men, and I talk to them the way they talk to me, and I'm just like, when I'm doing my prospects and they give me excuses, and I be like, if Mr. Bradley heard this, he wouldn't even look at you like you're a man right now. Like, that's just being honest, because Mr. Bradley is very, very blunt, and he does not care whose feelings he hurts when he's talking to us. So I guess I got a little bit of that as well. So I can be a little bit nicer about it, and
No, I
honest.
don't even want you to think about it as nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's not what you wanted to be. You wanted to be, I'm considering you so you get this message. But I need you to get this message. You know what I mean? Bottom line is get this message. So I'm delivering it to you this way so you can deliver it. So it won't, because all the time it ain't going to be nicer. Like sometimes when you about to fire somebody, there's no way to nicely tell them, I'm not doing business with you anymore. You know what I mean? And you can't be nice in that. But you can present the news, look, I'm like, look, I've enjoyed us working together. You know what I mean? I just want to pursue other contractors. Yeah, that still sucks too. You know what I mean? But at least you do great work. I want to see what else I can go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something else about men, don't trust that. So how you see him communicate, yeah. So that happens sometimes. And only he deals with a lot of consequences. If that's how he communicates all the time, there's hella consequences that come with that. You know what I mean? So it just may not be seen in business. But if he takes that outside of business, hella consequences come with that type of communication style.
Yeah.
Period. You know what I mean? So, and then the other thing about men, because I had an ex ask me one time, and it's funny, we were just having this conversation. She asked me, she was like, well, what's the difference between a woman holding a man accountable and a man holding a man accountable? And I told her word choice. Same thing we talk about, word choice. I say a lot of times women communicate in a way that they think men communicate. But what they don't understand is the nuances of man communication. We do change our communication a lot of times depending on who is the receiver. And I got a homeboy that we grew up with. I ain't gonna say his name either. He's super duper sensitive. Like, if we talk to him hard like that, that dude might go out there and get another DUI. You know what I mean? He'll be heartbroken all on the way home, like all the way home. So we can't communicate with him like that because we don't want to destroy the man. We want to build him up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of times, men, people pay attention to when we communicating like rah rah rah. But then people don't always pay attention to when we're not communicating like that. And you see that a lot of times when you play sports. You know what I mean? Because coaches don't talk to everybody on the team the same way. He talks to the whole team the same way, but individually, he changed that up depending on who's in the room with him. You know what I mean? So, and you want to be a little different. You do need that firmness when you communicate with those people, but mix that up. Word choice. All right. We about to get down to the action now. So, all right, here we go.
Okay.
It's your heart. So here we go. Hey, here we go.
And not your heartbeat level. No.
We gonna see what your heart doing. It's open a little bit. I got faith. I feel it in my heart. It ain't closed. Got my hands sweating. You nervous?
Okay, be serious.
Right, here we go.
Okay. Wow.
It's just kind of shivering. It ain't even getting no dead. I got like it's just kind of. It's kind of like it's okay. It's moving.
It's just
because
like
you can't see the spin, so it is moving a little bit, but it's moving like it's just in a plastic wrap too tight. Like it won't get out.
Like,
but
bitch,
it don't got
please.
no space to spin. So let me see what's going on with your heart, girl.
Is she still alive?
Yes. Okay. You got stuff that you got to work on with your feeling love and giving love. You got some stuff going on with your empathy. So
Right, I know.
yeah, no, yeah.
I be trying to work on it.
You got some fear going on too, and this specifically fear of rejection. And
Fear of what?
And you got
I
some
mean-
uncertainty, and I do want to talk about that fear of rejection. I feel like it's coming from a certain place. All right, any of those speak to you that you want to talk about?
I mean, I want to know what I'm fearing. I don't get that. What the heck? Because I'm a
Fear
victim. I don't
of
fear
rejection
nothing.
specifically.
Child, please. Whatever.
So I got a question.
Okay.
And do you ever worry that if you find this perfect relationship or this perfect man, that your concerns about your health issues or anything like that would mess up that interaction? Do you ever worry about that?
No, I've never worried about that. When I was younger, I did because again, I was younger, and the guys that I was dealing with, they couldn't quite understand, you know. Well, for instance, the one time I was in the hospital for like 30 days, and I had just met somebody, and he kept asking like, well, when are you getting out the hospital? Well, I don't know yet, you know, because my whole left side is paralyzed. I have to wait till the feeling comes back. I had to learn how to walk again, talk again, feed myself again. It was a whole, you know, process. And he didn't quite understand that I wasn't coming home anytime soon. And so he was like, well, you'll be out by my birthday, right? Probably not.
Did you not hear me?
I was like, I don't think so.
You ever seen Paid in Full? The dude, like, he's in the bed, like, I'm done. I'm like, I can't do this no more. I'm not walking the same. I'm not talking the same. He's like, yo, B, you would get shot every day.
Right. And I can laugh about it now because, again, that was like 15 years ago. But going, like, now that we're older, I tell people what I have. You know, I let them know ahead of time because there have been times that I've just literally passed out with no warning.
Yeah.
Well, you might want to know why I done passed out. So I do tell people ahead of time, you know. So I'm not afraid of that at all. And plus, by now, we're so older that most people know what MS is. So they'll say, oh, I have a cousin that had it, or I know somebody went to school with it, that mom had it. So looking at it now, most people are familiar with it. So I've never worried about that. Now, what I have worried about is the person that I do talk to. There's some type of, it's not friction, but I said before that we just can't get it together to where I'm with him or he's with me. I've been friend zoned twice. And that does not sit well with me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so that can definitely be where the fear of rejection. If he done that shit twice, then it
But
can
he
be a
friend zoned
genuine
me because I
concern that he
friend zoned
might do
him
it a third
first.
time.
Say it again.
Say it
Well,
again.
see, he said he did it. He friend zoned me because I friend zoned him first. And I was like, that shouldn't matter. You know, you should be okay now because that was like 5 years ago that I friend zoned you. You should be over that. You know, we're single now, so why not?
I feel
Don't
you.
give me that face.
No,
No, you, hey, hey, girl, you already know. I feel you.
but
But you already know that's not how
Like,
emotions work. And you know, sometimes people like to think that we like to think we're greater than we are sometimes. And one way that we like to think that we're greater than we are is forgiveness. You know what I mean? We like to think that, like we talked about, a lot of people have moved on from stuff but haven't gotten over it. And if you
Yeah.
don't have it in your face regularly, it's easy to be like, well, I ain't worried about it no more. I moved on. And then all of a sudden it popped back up. You're like, whoa, wait a minute. Maybe I have it. And you start talking faster than your heart is actually saying. You know what I mean? So, yeah, he had to get some get back. And I feel you. I feel you. But you know, karma like balance, man. You have some karmic, you know what I mean? You have a karmic debt to pay. And it was childish the way he went about it, but at least he told you. Yeah, so you not, your feelings, listen, your feelings are correct, but you still have to accept. Okay, all right, you got me. You're right. You know what I mean? Like, it sucks.
Yeah.
My feelings hurt. Okay, you got me. That was
No,
childish.
I
You petty.
apologize. Like I
You
said,
said
to me,
what?
I said I apologized about it because I didn't know at the time that it made him that well, he didn't get upset, I don't think. But I didn't okay. When he was
You didn't know it
relaying
affected
his
him the way it did.
yeah. I was like, if I had known that back then, I would have said, you know, I would have said it a different way, but
He still be the same outcome, so he still be heartbroken, so it don't matter.
I had a good reason for doing
Yeah, what you
it
said is what you did, girl. You had that man crying in the shower. You talking about I would have said it differently. But you still don't do it.
I had a good reason for doing it though. I didn't want to mess up the friendship because we had a really good friendship. And I was
Okay.
like,
I'm glad you
no.
said that. And
Because
let
even when I
me-
met him, I said, please do not start liking me. I need a good male friend that I can hang out with, go to bars with, go to games with. Do not start liking me.
Let me
Please.
tell you something. A bunch of. I'm glad you said that, and I'm going to talk about two things. Right.
And then 5 years into it, he decided he wanted to start liking me. And I was like, no, you can't. We're
feelings
friends.
change, man. Listen, feelings change. Let me tell you something. This is a conundrum. And I know it's a conundrum for women, because I've had women say this to me too. I don't want to risk a friendship. You don't really hear that from men. You know what I mean? All the men that will say that, but yeah, men, we take risks all the time, so we look at risk differently than women. You know what I mean? And we also look at friendships a little differently. Opposite sex friendships a little differently than women as well. You know what I mean? So when it comes to situations like that, one perspective is you don't want to risk a friendship, and probably what you learn through this is if you don't risk it, it still changes the friendship. Because what winds up happening is you put the dude in a got milk situation. So he wants to be with you, but you always behind this glass untouchable. And that is emotional turmoil, that is terrible place to be in. You know what I mean? And as a woman, I'm sure you've been in one of them got milk situations, whether it's somebody put you there or you chose to go there like, I ain't gonna mess with that dude, but Jesus Christ. Right? You know what I mean? So, although I understand that perspective, if you ever face with that again, keep in mind the other perspective that if the person is valuable enough, it may actually be worth risking the friendship, especially because most people want to be friends with whoever they're in a relationship with. You know what I mean? And then if you don't do it, the friendship pretty much gonna be over any goddamn way. It alters. And if you are able to come back from that, God bless you. But most times you can't come back from that because of the position that you put the other person in. And they would have to be psychotic to live in a position like that for the rest of their life. They would have to be crazy, and you would be 100% right to not date them. So any smart person will wind up removing themselves from that situation because they're not crazy. Now, I want to talk about how male friends, when men go out to make friends, we are not looking for women. Like when I go to be friends, women become my friends by happenstance, shared experiences, or other friends. You get what I'm saying? So me and you can have a biology class together and we start talking every day. Now you can be my friend. But when I go out into the world to make friends, I'm not like, I need some women friends. When women go out into the world to make friends, sometimes y'all consider, I need some men friends. But you're going up to a population that's not how they think. It happens through shared experiences, through stuff like that. And then the other thing that happens is you wind up being cool. At some point, you might not want to be your friend. So like, you know what? You're amazing. I don't want to be your friend. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because we will have women as friends, and women can be our friends. Like my best friend, one of my best friends is a woman. You know what I mean? She's like a sister to me. So we can have women friends and stuff like that. But we became friends like that over shared experiences and time. But when I actually met her, we weren't, you know, my best friend, because we went to middle school with her too. Amber. So I'm gonna say that. So when I first met her, I wasn't going like, we gonna be friends. I'm like, oh, whatever. Even though I'll never forget the first time I went to the house, her mama pulled a gun on me. Because she was like, I know you ain't over here to be my daughter's friends. Okay, you right. You got girls, I'm a boy. Let's see what happens. I don't know. Maybe we will be friends, maybe we won't. So when you're going out to make friends, you're asking a lot of guys when you be like, we're gonna be friends and don't ever like me. Cause we start liking our friends. You know what I mean? You become you're an amazing friend. That's hard to find. You know what I mean? So of course I'm gonna like an amazing fucking person. I'm hanging out with this amazing person. I would be a dummy to not like an amazing person that knows everything about me. I'm comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking, man, yeah. So yeah, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to take some risk. And you're going to have, if you want male friends, it comes from shared experiences.
Oh my God. And we talked about it again last night. Because we pretty much hang out like on a weekly basis. And I'm just like,
He said what on a weekly basis?
we pretty much go out on a weekly basis. So
You and the dude. You and your friend.
yeah. And then we talk about it all the time. I be like, you don't want to be with me, so get out my face. And he's like, no, because you friend zone me. No, nigga, you friend zone me. So it's always going back and forth. But it's okay.
It is okay. And I'm going to say this. You're going to have decisions for yourself. You got what I'm saying? So that's interesting. So you got one
It
decision.
is. It really is. And
One of y'all gonna have to be the adult and let that shit go, right?
right.
Or you're going to have to decide on if that's an energy you want to go forward with. You know what I mean? Because what winds up happening is, what happens if you meet somebody else who needs that attention and you got that dynamic going on? You know what I mean? That's an interesting dynamic. So either take the risk, it's a jump, or don't, because this is what you don't want to do too. because inadvertently, in holding on to that friendship, you keep re-traumatizing yourself. That's what both of y'all doing. So he's still traumatized by you got there and ghosting him, you know what I mean? And you still traumatized by him ghosting, you know what I mean? So you're gonna have to decide, like, y'all gonna have to either break that bond or break away, you know what I mean? And sometimes, you know what I mean, it just works like that. You know what I mean? But I think one of y'all just need to be an adult. And I normally don't say, you know what I mean? Like, just take the chance. Like, if I were you, like to put things straight up, I go ahead. This is one of those situations where you don't need to be honest. You just need to tell the truth and just put it straight on the table. What you want, you know what I mean? Like, because at this point, if you ain't working towards a goal, you wasting time. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So, and we old. I mean, not like we
Thank
elderly,
you.
but
Thank you.
you know what I mean? Hey, listen, I ain't finna waste these next 50 summers. I have them, you know what I mean? If I got 45 summers left, I ain't finna waste them bullshitting on somebody who can't let go, can't move on. You know what I mean? I'm not, soft. If you're not moving towards this happiness, healing, and joy, like I'm lo siento. You know what I mean? So you decide for yourself, you know, and you know as you move on, not all friendships gonna go to the next level. You know what I mean? And so you decide what you want to do with that one. But go ahead and put your heart out there, because I think that's what's gonna open you up. Do it your way though. So do it truthfully. Don't be honest. I know we just talked about honest, but at this point, I really feel like, especially with that situation, that fear of rejection is what I want to talk about. You know what I mean? And as you talk about that situation, I do feel like that's where it might be coming from. So as you approach it, just be truthful with that shit. Move on, and you putting your truth out there is going to open your heart chakra up a little bit more. And depending on the outcome, it's going to either open for opportunities or open for that one, you know what I mean? But either way, you want it open, you know what I mean? So don't cheat yourself, treat yourself. I got that from crackheads. You know, all people. Crackheads saw me hard. I'm like, I don't know if I need to get both of these candies. It was over candy too. They were like, treat yourself, don't cheat yourself.
Right.
First of all, what was you doing behind me, looking at me, arguing over Snickers bars? You know they would pop up. Treat yourself, don't cheat yourself. Valid. Valid. I use that ever since then. All right, so solar plexus, let's see.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Okay. Because we spent a couple of New Year's Eves together, right? So to me, it was like, we're destined to be together now.
Hey, listen.
How you end
What's
the
your
years? How
sign?
you
What is your sign? What's your sign, girl?
I'm a Virgo.
This is one thing Virgos don't get enough credit for. Y'all are dreamers. You know what I mean? And if you match with somebody that dreams, Virgos go crazy. And I know that because I'm a Pisces, and I do not know why Virgos mess with me. You know what I mean? They love me until they don't. We've always wound up bumping heads, but them first 2-3 weeks be amazing. The first 3 weeks be amazing because I'm such a dreamer. Like, they love that. You know what I mean? That forward thinking, that dreaming. Like, you know what I mean? They don't get enough credit for how much they love that dreaming because of how straightforward and rigid they can be. But nah, they like that. They like that fancy stuff. That fanciful. Yeah.
It's a
Girl,
I'll be all right.
put yourself out there and tell your truth. Please do. All right. Well, I feel like I know these next two about to be because we just seen your heart. So, solar plexus. They all connected too. Let's see.
Well, dang.
Same thing. I told you they all boy. When I get to the heart, the solar plexus, don't worry, your sacral gonna be the same too. Let's see what's going on. That stubborn keeps showing up, girl. You're gonna have to work on that too.
I don't understand why I keep saying that. I'm not stubborn, I don't think. Why are you making that face?
I don't argue with the energy.
You can
You can do that if you want to.
Oh my god.
As a
As
matter
a
of
matter of
fact,
fact, that's a perfect example of stubbornness. You know what I mean? Because I just said that. I don't argue with the energy. You can do that if you want to. I'm getting the vibe you being stubborn. You prove me right then. I ain't being stubborn. What are you talking about?
I know,
That's
'cause
stubborn.
I guess because I need to know what am I being stubborn about? Like, why can't they start talking back to us?
See, that's the thing.
I
Okay,
know.
because that's the problem. Because if they told you being stubborn about buying that car, you'll just stop being stubborn about buying that car and still be
Right.
stubborn in everything. So it says you're being stubborn so you can be aware because generally it's stubborn across a myriad of things. You know what I mean? So that's why even when it comes to me, sometimes I'm like, I don't know where it exactly sits. But you got it going on, you know what I mean? So yeah, you got some stuff going because it showed up a couple of times. That critical gonna show up again.
Okay.
You got some feelings of taken advantage of.
Really? I can get taken advantage of sometimes
Yes, that you feel
by
like that too. But
by
that's one
being
of the reasons why your
overly
solar plexus is closed.
by being overly available sometimes.
What do you mean? What does that mean? Overly available. What does that mean?
Well, when you join certain network marketing companies, you have different levels, right?
Right.
And so I have some directors that I work with to where they ask me to do certain things for them, and I don't want to do it, but I'd be like, "Oh, okay, if that'll help you out, I don't mind it, you know." But why can't I'm thinking in my mind, why can't you do it for yourself? But
Right.
I guess I'm a people pleaser too, and so I end up doing it. I wholeheartedly hate the presentation. I'm very afraid of standing in front of the room and doing it. So they're trying to make me more comfortable doing it, which is okay. But a lot of people in this company don't even do the presentation. They still make the money that I'm trying to make. Well, no, Ebony, you need to learn the presentation so we can all rotate. Well, why you gotta rotate with me? Let me just keep coming and doing what I normally do. Um, there was a time where I learned to set up the meetings and do the engineering. I mean, I can understand why they want me to learn as much because I am there all the time.
Right.
But I'm not there for your services. I'm there because I genuinely want to be there and learn from you. So
Right.
I kind of feel like they might take a little bit of advantage of that. Yeah.
All right. So this is a perfect time for you to be able to communicate in an honest way. This ain't no truthful situation. To be honest, because you do have to draw your own professional boundaries because you don't want because this is what winds up happening. This energy stays off long enough, it does become a physical problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like when I said this covers the stomach region, if you keep dealing with feeling like you taking advantage of, you wind up having stomach problems. Some of these reasons I've told people, I know you got gas, because every time I get on, I feel like I gotta pass gas. So I know, you know what I mean? So you can have stomach problems and you don't want these to become actual physical issues. You know what I mean? Or it might already be causing some of the physical ailments and you're unaware of because I don't know how long you've been carrying this feeling. You know what I mean? But you do, this is one of those times where you do want to be able to communicate honestly. Because I can see you not wanting to communicate that because you communicate truthfully and they're not going to receive that correctly. I know trust me. Listen, I'm a man in power. I've been a man in power. You gotta be careful how you talk to them. You know what I mean? We sensitive. You know what I mean? And it's an art to communicate to people with authority and power. You know what I mean? And that's what you're doing. So that I just told you the art is the difference between honesty and truthfulness. So then therefore you go ahead and I was reading the comments. You work on communicating your boundary in an honest way. And then after you communicate that, you probably gonna have to communicate it a couple of times because you're trying to change your behavior And I'm a behaviorist therapist. I love the behavioralist theory. They say you got to teach a new concept at least 5 times before you can successfully understand it. So if you're trying to change the behavior, that is a work behavior with them. And then also find the middle ground in creating a way that you can communicate with groups of people without always having to stand in front of them. Because I actually did get something like that. But I was like, only reason why I ain't say nothing, I was like, because ain't no way she got a problem with speaking in front of people. And then later on, you like, I don't like speaking in front of people. God dang, I should have said it. That's why I'm human too. So I'll be second guessing myself. I'll be having my moments too. And I swear I felt that. But the idea that wound up coming to me is this right here. It's just me and you. We're talking. I promise you, it's going to be at least hundreds of people who watch this video. My video gets a certain amount of views. We on YouTube, we on Twitch, we on Facebook. You in front of people. You know what I mean? You are in front of people. And I can see you creating marketing strategies and doing videos and stuff like that of you just communicating and putting a message out there. So therefore you don't have that crowd of people always around you, and you still communicate to the crowd. Because you can do stuff like this. If you want to have a lot, let's come on Zoom and bring 1,000 people in Zoom, and then you just talk to them, and you don't really got to look at them because you can turn off the all-day screens, all types of stuff that you can do to find the middle ground. But I would say start spinning into stuff like this.
It sounds good in theory, but in my mind, I still know people are out there.
Right.
So I called that before too. They was like, well, Eb, you won't even see the people on the Zoom, but I know they're there. You know?
Yeah, and you always gonna know they're there. So this isn't going to take away the fact that you know that. That's why I just told you, it's people. You know in front of people. It just makes it a little easier to do. So, like for example, I have one friend, the friend I talked about. One of the reasons I tell them, I ask them to come in. So sometimes it just feels like I'm just talking to that person. You know what I mean? And it makes it a little easier. So like this, it's a little easier for you because you're really just talking to me. You know what I mean? It's just you and I right now. So and with the COVID taught us a bunch of different ways that we can use this technology. So I would try to figure out a way to balance that out. You know what I mean? And speaking your truth, and because what you wind up doing is introducing them to other ways of doing it. You know what I mean? Because what they do, they got one way of doing it. This way work, do it like this. But it's a new day and age. It's multiple ways to work. You know what I mean? So you'll be teaching them as you learn. But you have the skills to do that. So let's knock that out. Yeah, you actually are doing a great job.
Thank you.
You definitely honest, you vulnerable, you stop. Yeah, great job. Fantastic job. Okay, so let's get to this sacral. Now I am gonna be honest with what I do with the okay, here go purple. I don't want to lose purple. I do be honest with sacral. Sometimes it does give me vibes on your sex life.
Oh Lord, okay, that's going on there.
Don't say nothing. Yeah, so, and sometimes I have to I give suggestions, I give advice, you know what I mean, and I give you the advice that's necessary for you, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see what's cracking.
Okay.
A lot of your stuff moves like that. So I said this was gonna be when you read your heart. Did I say I already know the next two gonna be because they so intertwined, you know what I mean? Your heart, your stomach, and your gut nerve. Hey, if it ain't in your heart, it ain't gonna be in your crotch, so it don't matter. So it makes sense, right? Like, okay, because especially for a person like you, it would have been more confusing if we looked at your heart and it would have been like this, and then we got your sacral and everything. I'm like, what the hell is you doing? See, even you know, like, you don't even know what's going on, but you're like, wait a minute, that don't look right. I'm like, God, no, you confident for everybody? Like, just stop. Like, Jesus Christ. That freaking generation, that again.
Oh my God, that is
Oh
hilarious.
God. So,
Wow. Okay.
oh my God. Let's see what we feeling. I already knew what it was before I started shaking. I felt it because this is a consistent one, but it's your passion. So yeah, you're going to have to.
Well, at least I'm not a host. No, I'm just playing.
We're gonna talk about passion a little bit, but you got some feelings of shy, and you got some feelings of guilt going on somewhere.
Feelings of who?
Shyness, you feel a little shy somewhere,
I am
and you got
shy.
some
Yes.
feelings of guilt somewhere. Um,
Yeah. I like to say I'm an extroverted introvert because people like tell me you're not shy. I'm like, yes, I am.
I feel
So
you. You know what? I say the same thing. Like people don't think I am shy, but I'm
yeah.
extremely shy. And I tell them, you just don't know how much energy it takes to seem like I'm not shy. And the
Yep.
thing about me and my shyness is I'm more afraid of missing out than shy. So I push myself to the limit because I don't want to miss out on life. I don't want to miss out on opportunities because
Right.
I was too shy to step up. You know what I mean? So that's it. But I definitely do understand, and people, and I can see that in you. I can see that. I can see people think that you are way more outgoing than you are. You know what I mean? And even if so, you put you in a certain situation because you know how to have fun, you laugh, you joke, and people take those as outgoing behaviors, but they don't know how much energy you're using to be that person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And so some of that guilt, I feel like some of that guilt is coming from that back and forth you got going on with dude. So when you expressing your truth in that situation, please explain that. Like, dog, you be making me feel guilty. Like, you know what I mean? But I know ain't no way. I don't think he fully understand. Okay, just like you didn't understand then, I don't think he fully understands now because he just keeps saying the same thing, and I don't think.
He
And
does.
with the
Yeah.
way you don't communicate your emotions the way you should, he ain't gonna
I
fully
do though.
understand.
No, I really do. And I told him, I'm a big communicator. I need to know how you're feeling and tell me if I'm making you upset or if I'm, saying something that you don't want to hear. But you need to communicate a little bit better because I know what I want, but I don't think you know what you want. And he's like, well, no, it's just you friend zoned me years ago. I'm like, okay, dude, let it go. Okay, we're past that. It's been years.
You can't pay that cost for, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and
you
I'm just
can't pay
like,
that
dude, what
cost.
we doing? Like, are we getting married or not? What we doing? Like, seriously, we're going back and forth for no reason. And I've been trying, but shit, I'm tired of trying. To be honest with you, I'm about to stop. But I don't know. But he has,
Um,
he needs to think about it and what he wants. And I've said it several times. Like even now, he's texting because he's at the gym. Okay, dude, your doctor said don't go to the gym because you're having heart issues, but he's not listening to me. So we have that whole little friendship too. But I need you to take care of yourself as well,
yeah,
because yeah, it's a lot. But he knows
yeah.
what the problem
So,
is. That on it. I don't know. But we'll see.
yeah, this definitely one of them odd situations. Go ahead, have that talk. Um, and
Matter of fact, he don't have
what
his daggone heart monitor. Hold on. I think. Okay, I'm sorry.
what
Go
makes
ahead.
you passionate? What are you passionate about?
What am I passionate about?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know
Okay.
because I
So
have
good.
already figured out I am not passionate about booking anybody's travel. I've learned that. Um, I'm passionate about group cruises because they pay the most commission. I'm very passionate about making money, being able to pay my bills on time without any worries. I'm passionate about going to church because I love going to church. Um, I'm passionate about my family. Um, I am passionate about, I love food. I'm a good foodie. I love a good restaurant. Um, what
So have you
else?
been doing things that ignite your passion and make you feel passionate?
to make me build passion.
Make you feel passionate.
Feel
Like,
passion.
you know, because like you be passionate about getting money, but at some point that just becomes routine. The passion ain't there. It's like it's working. You know what I mean? It's a routine. So it ain't no passion. I gotta get this bread. So I'm gonna work this routine. But
I try to find new ways to get it though.
Right, you can think of new ways, but even then that becomes routine. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
that don't make you feel, for lack of a better word, it don't make you feel sexy inside. You know what I mean? Like sometimes laying at the beach, you know what I mean? Like you just laying across the sand when you got a little bit of sand on your thigh, and then the night you just laying with a big, like that makes you feel sexy inside sometimes. So like when you want to feel sexy inside.
I get that. Well, it depends on. Let me think. I feel passionate when I go to on my trips and such. You know, going to the beach and everything. That's a good passionate way to go.
Okay.
And it's fun as well.
I,
So
I think this is good. So I think you have ways that you show your passion, but I think you're at a point where you need new ways. I think you're expanding as a person internally. You know what I mean? And some of the old ways you've expressed yourself aren't allowing the new internal you to do it.
correct.
So you gotta find some new ways to express your passion. You know what I mean? Find something new
Yeah.
that you're passionate about, that makes you feel, and it doesn't, and it just makes you feel sexy on the inside, for a lack of better words. You know what I mean? And I've been suggesting to everybody. I've been telling everybody, go to like some food and wine pairings or something like that. Something to do small bites. If you like food, I like food too. And I've had food that just that one bite made me feel sexy on the inside. I'm like, this is so amazing. You know what I mean? So it might be something like that. But work on new ways to explore your passion. I feel like one of the reasons it's moving like that is you're a passionate person, but it doesn't really get conveyed of how you are because of the presentation. You got to present yourself as a professional. You know what I mean? And passion
Yeah.
doesn't always come across with professionalism. You know what I mean? People just assume that whatever your profession is your passion, but that ain't necessarily so. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my passion is breakdancing. I don't want to make no career out of breakdancing. You know what I mean? That's true story. I love to dance. So I still got it too. Just in case you want to have a pop lock, don't challenge me now. Okay, so the last one is your root chakra. So I don't know if you grounded. I feel like
Okay.
actually that might be. Come on now, I ain't gonna say it. I told you it's bad luck. But my spirit feel good.
Okay. Uh
We
oh.
got a little action with that one.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know what? I'm gonna have to get a camera really to show it from the bottom so people can see how big the circle is. So when I look
Yeah.
at it, you can't always see. You see it moving, but it ain't that bad. So you doing stuff out of all of them. That was the best spinning one. It had a good force. It had a good circle. I feel like you trusting. You feeling independent. You feel alive. You poised. You feel like you belong in this world. You a little bossy. You're gonna have to work on that.
Well, you got to be a little bit bossy to like lead people sometimes.
Okay.
I mean,
But you know there's a difference between a boss and a leader. Don't make me have to send you my book called Fish. That's like every leader's first book in leadership, Fish. Whatever.
yeah.
And the stuff that we already talked about shows up a little bit. But as far as that, I feel the most with feeling grounded. So I feel like you do feel like your feet are firmly planted on earth. You know what I mean? And keep that. You know what I mean? Whatever you're doing that allows you to be humble, that allows you to not have your heads too far in the cloud, I'll do that. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Other than, like we said, the other stuff that showed up, like when we talked about your fear, and we talked about your feelings of love and being loved and giving love, you'll work on those. But as grounded, your root chakra, your feet are doing good. Like you rub your feet in the grass every day. So you doing good.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's good.
All
All right. Well,
Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate
that
it.
was
Appreciate it.
all 7 of them. How do you feel?
I mean, I feel fine. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel normal, but
Right.
Right. It wasn't that painful, right? It wasn't that bad.
yeah.
Definitely think about the couple of things that we said we talked about, and I'll reach out to you, touch bases again. You know what I mean? See how this is going, and then I told you I want to talk to you about some of that other stuff that you know what I mean. And I'll say this for you, but for you, we wouldn't be charging you or anything. Like I said, you family, so we want to make sure you're all right.
Okay.
So you won't have to worry about the cost of anything. But yeah, so we'll talk about that. You got any questions or anything before we go?
Nope, no questions at all.
All right, Ebony, you did a great job. You were a fantastic guest. You were patient when we were in there sounding like DJ. I don't even know. I'm Echo Monster, and you weren't echoing or anything, but it was great. I'll do some editing and stuff like that. Once I finish editing, I'll put it up on YouTube or whatever. You can watch it, or you can go back and watch it on Facebook. It's on Facebook now to see if you look
Okay.
crazy, but you did. You look fantastic, and I can't wait for somebody else to reach out to me because I know you encourage somebody, and I do want to interview you some more about your life. You started off well. Wow, I was like, wow, I wasn't even ready for that. I got so many questions, but we ain't even come for here for that this time. But I definitely want to talk to you more about that in the future. All right. All right,
And
thanks.
well, the
So,
reason why I talk
everybody,
about it
I
so
appreciate you joining us, being patient, and going with us with all the echoes. Marlena, I take it back. You're not a part-time hater. You were being helpful. Thank you so much.
Marlena,
And
why should
I was going to repeat all the stuff I said earlier, but lo siento. It's over, guys. Thanks. And I'll see you next week. Thank you again, Ebony. You were fantastic.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. Good night, everybody.
We got out of here. Come on, Mike. Let me